Well, it's a beautiful evening. Hello and welcome to Breaking Today. My name is Nick Mudimba. Our Zen language interpreter is Mr. Michael Maidhia. Let's now look at the headlines we have for you tonight. Prioritizing sustainable blue economy programs, Kenya to adopt the program in development planning. Rising cases of insecurity in Lamu County leads to closure of schools in the area. What WRC return means to Kenya, we talk to veteran navigator Abdul Sidi. In sports, betting farm SportPesa and Betin closed shop in Kenya over the prolonged tax standoff. Alright, so when you talk about WRC back in Kenya, it means we really have to be very ready for the superstars in the motorsport scene. And today I'm privileged to have one of the legends who took part in the other rally way back, actually in 2002. Abdul Sidi is here with me in studio, and of course he'll be joining us later on to talk to us about what it means for WRC to come back in Kenya. Now, the first story of the day, President Uhuru Kenyatta has said Kenya is prioritizing the implementation of sustainable blue economy programs because of the sector's potential to accelerate the country's development. The president said the shrinking land-based resources won't be adequate to sustain rising world population in the long run, actually hence the need for countries to factor the blue economy in their development planning.
Speaking during a meeting of small island development states held on the sideline of the 74th session of the UN General Assembly in New York, Uhuru said Kenya is keen on developing its blue economy resources because of the immense potential the sector holds for wealth and employment creation. He added that Kenya's leading role in the push for sustainable development of the global blue economy is out of recognition that oceans are critical to the future of humanity.
Our future lay also in being able to look at what our oceans have to offer. And in so doing, we realize the huge and vast potential that our oceans offer, both for economic growth, development, and employment, but also food resources, and the incredible wealth that lays underneath.
Speaking about Sustainable Blue Economy Conference co-hosted by Kenya, Canada, and Japan in Nairobi last year, President Kenyatta says sustainable blue economy is possible with the involvement of all stakeholders. Uhuru noted that the Nairobi meeting, attended by over 1,600 delegates, managed to bring together stakeholders of the blue economy to start the process of collaborating and working together to sustainably develop and utilize the sector for economic progress.
And I think the first thing that came out for everybody was the issue of sustainability and the recognition that it requires all of us acting in unison to be able to achieve the objectives that we desire.
On the potential of partnership to support the sustainable development of the sector, President Kenyatta gave an example of government-supported program in Kenya where women groups earn from carbon credits through the conservation of mangroves. He said the blue economy, despite the challenges it faces such as climate change, has the potential to benefit world economies and called for more private sector participation. Kevin Sewe, Switch TV.
Now, Deputy President William Ruto has asked politicians to put the interests of the people they serve first. He said leaders have a role to play on bettering the lives of the people rather than engaging in perpetual politics. Speaking in Funyula, Busia County during the rites of ordination of deacons and priests at the Canadian Martyrs Church, Nangina, on Saturday, Dr. Ruto said it was time leaders stopped engaging in political deals discussion.
Ya muhimu sasa sio tena mambo ya wanasiasa na vyeo na mamlaka. Ya muhimu sasa ni barabara, maji, sitima, watoto wasome ya wananchi hawa. That is the issue now. Haiwezekani ati tunasema mambo ya wanasiasa na mamlaka na vyeo wakati wa uchaguzi, alafu baada ya uchaguzi badala ya kushughulikia mahitaji ya wananchi hawa tunaanza tena mjadala mwingine, nani atapata kiti gani tena itaundwa, nani atapata mamlaka gani. Hiyo ni kuwa na ubinafsi. We must be selfless.
Now, across to the coast, Lamu women representative Ruweida Obo has condemned the rising cases of insecurity in Lamu County, which has led to closure of schools in the area, forcing people to stay at home. The women rep stated that Lamu has been marginalized for the longest time, insisting that every pupil has a right to equal education. Ruweida, who was together with university students from the county, said they will ensure that action is taken before going back. She also applauded Interior CS Fred Matiang'i for helping the county reduce drug trafficking in the region, noting that most youth have reformed.
Polisi nyingi ya mambo ya chekechea tumepitisha polisi hizi new curriculum nzuri, lakini tunapitishia Wakenya wengine kama ambavyo sisi Lamu si wa Kenya. So nimesema tutafute suluhisho zetu wenyewe, na pia mbali na hayo, na hao wajue kwamba ile LAPSSET iko na kuna opportunities nyingi, wasingojee kila siku pia sisi tukalalamika tu ya marginalize. Sasa angalau tubadilishe ile kauli ya kusema marginalize, tuseme sisi we are growing up.
Now, to the good news, many rally enthusiasts have been waiting, and finally it came that Kenya has finally been readmitted into the prestigious World Rally Championships after 18 years in the cold. Kenya was the only African country that was bidding to return to the WRC. Kenya and Africa have been out of WRC since 2002. The popular and iconic Safari Rally was dropped from the WRC calendar in October 2002 after the government failed to meet some necessary guarantees demanded by the global body FIA. Our sports reporter, Chris Migwambo, had that report.
Kenya's iconic Safari Rally, one of global motorsports legendary contests, is back on the world map after an 18-year break.
And now that we have it for 3 years, I can assure you that we will not let our guard down. We will work really hard to remain on that calendar forever.
In a statement on their website, the World Rally Championship stated that the return for the first time since 2002 displays a more global profile. The East African event will form the 8th round on 16th to 19th July and marks the beginning of the second half of the 2020 campaign following a mid-season break. Japan and New Zealand have also been included, with the former having been absent for 10 years. The inclusion of Kenya's iconic Safari Rally follows a successful dress rehearsal in July at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. President Uhuru Kenyatta hailed the achievement while looking back on his own pledge in 2013 to push for Safari Rally's return to the global series.
It is my pleasure today to announce to the people of Kenya and Africa that this process has been concluded and the Safari Rally has been included in the International Automobile Federation World Rally Championship 2020 calendar, making the return of the World Rally Championship to Kenya and Africa after 18 years of waiting.
The Safari Rally, as it's known today, was first held in Kenya in 1953 to commemorate the coronation of Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. It started as the East African Safari Rally, traversing the 3 East African countries of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. The rally developed to become the toughest rally in the world and was regarded as a true test of man and machine. In 1973, the Safari was admitted to the prestigious International Automobile Federation FIA WRC, held within the boundaries of Kenya. However, having not met the FIA standards in 2002, it was given a break. With the return, the ball is now on the court of 3-time Africa champion Manvir Baryan and Safari Rally reigning champion Baldev Chaga to bring back the glory days. It is the first time the WRC has included 6 continents: Europe, North America, South America, Asia, Africa, and Australia in its 48-year history. Chris Migwambo, Switch TV.
All right, thank you, Chris, for that. And now in studio, I'm joined by Abdul Sidi, who took part in 18 World Rally Championships in the country. And of course, he's also a teacher, that is a tutor in terms of the Abdul Sidi Rally Academy. He's done so much for motorsports in this country, and he's here with us to tell us more about the experience, what it means for Kenya in terms of even the tourism, in terms of the economy, and so much more. Abdul, good to see you today.
Thank you so much.
Karibu sana.
It's a big pleasure coming back here,
Absolutely.
and thank you again.
Karibu. Now,
It's-
straight into it. It was kind of tensed waiting for the news to be kind of brought to Kenyans, but again, it happened. There was some positivity. And remembering the last candidate event, things happened that indeed Kenyans thought we won't actually get this. But again, luckily enough, we got this event, a very big event in the FIA calendar. So what does this mean to the motorsport enthusiast here in the country?
I was at KICC yesterday, and at the moment Jean Todt, live from Geneva, announced Safari Rally is back, there was a big cheer up.
Okay,
And I'm telling you, I really got worked up. You know?
amazing, amazing.
Very exciting. It's the biggest news we've had for 17 years now. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Finally, the candidate event this year was run to the requirement, proper requirement of the FIA.
Okay,
The rules were followed, though there were some weaknesses
few issues, yeah.
where FIA itself also forgives. And it's taken a while waiting for this thing to be announced.
Okay,
But there were 3 other countries which were joining Kenya, and the calendar had to be released.
okay,
And yesterday was the day, and Kenya is part of the 14 countries that have been included in the FIA calendar for 2020.
amazing, amazing. So let's look at the previous government. In 2002, Kenya was kicked out, and people are wondering what mistake or what did the previous government do? Maybe if you have an idea, you can tell us.
Let me tell you, there's a massive difference. The present government, through President Uhuru Kenyatta, the PS, Amina Mohamed, they've really worked hard, and they've directly played a role.
The CS it is, yeah, sure.
So the CS has also been up in other countries,
Okay.
trying to meet the FIA officials and trying to convince them that we are ready, the government is ready, and we are ready to help you. And whenever Jean Todt has been to Kenya, he's met the president.
Okay.
The president hasn't shied away, and the president has given very good support. He's been a good role model, and FIA needed to know the government is involved,
Okay,
and it's a guaranteed stuff that it's good for FIA itself, it's good for Kenya itself. In the government itself is going to gain a big way in tourism.
okay, okay.
There are
Big
about,
time,
yeah,
sure.
there are about 4.8 million people who go and visit each of those countries, the host countries. If Kenya was to get just 10% of that, is a massive difference.
Okay,
There's a good welcome to tourism in Kenya. People have now, once they've read all this, it's world news, people have really followed. There are people who are booking for holidays now.
wow,
Yeah,
that's very interesting.
because they can see wildlife, they
Okay.
can see Safari Rally,
Yeah.
they can meet people, and Kenya is a beautiful country.
Amazing. So let's talk about the grueling Kenya. You know, rally in this country has been tough. And when you even talk about the cars that even our drivers in Kenya kind of have, let's start with the most expensive instruments that came, the Proton 2000, the Skodas in the country, the Ford Fiesta R5, very, very expensive cars. But now when you look at the likes of Sebastian Loeb, Sebastian Ogier, and of course all those big boys in the FIA calendar, they're coming to this country and they are aware of what kind of maybe environment they're going to have. So maybe what changes should we expect from the kingpins in this?
Safari was known as one of the toughest rounds of the WRC.
Yeah.
Teams used to come here in November when the Safari was held in during Easter periods.
Okay.
And they used to spend like 3 months testing their cars.
Wow.
But this time round, the cars, the machines have become different. The rules have changed. On those days when we did Safari, the longest stage was 220 kilometers.
Okay.
That is one Safari now. 200, you start
Wow.
from Suswa
Yeah.
end up in Tulele, Oletepesi, that side.
Okay.
Now, the total distance is about 500 kilometers over 2 days. It's 8 to 5 job.
Yes.
Yeah. But the teams, directly, the drivers will not be able to come to Kenya to test the machines and prepare for the safari.
Okay.
But the officials, the team managers and all, I'm sure they'll be coming to the country. They need to book hotels. They need to check on the route and rough idea
Yeah.
of what they're going to expect.
Okay. Yeah. No, something else. We had Tapu Lakinen, the Finn, who came to the country some few years back, and he really gave Kenyan drivers a very hard time. Let's talk about our local talent, our local pool of drivers, the likes of Baldev Chaga, the likes of Alistair Kavanagh. Of course, this day is inconsistent. Ekal Flash Tundo. Those guys have been trying to really lift Kenya's name out there, even in the ARC. They're doing so well in the continent. But let's look at the international competition. Tapio came, won nearly all the legs. So does it mean his experience, the machine? What goes on here?
Personally, I think lots of experience with Tapio, British and Finland
Yeah,
champion.
yeah.
He's done well. But there again, he was rallying in the same class of vehicles. But then he had more experience.
Okay.
That's the only way he was beating them, because you're on the same surface,
Okay.
in the same stages, the cars were similar. But this time round, my personal feeling is the World Rally cars are going to meet a totally different atmosphere.
Absolutely.
The stages.
Absolutely.
In Europe, it is all graded, it's all smooth.
Yeah.
When you take a jump, 100 meters down the road, you're turning
Yeah, you
bad
can
left
turn
or-
en route when you're diving. It's
You're
very
just flying,
interesting,
the
yeah.
cars are just flying, yeah. So in Kenya, it's going to be very difficult. Okay, we say the organizers are going to improve the state of the stages from what we had this year,
Okay.
though they will be in basically the same area. But even then, the
Okay.
driving style is going to be totally different.
Absolutely.
It will
So,
favor
yeah.
the locals.
You've navigated Patrick Njiru, you navigated the big names in rallying in this country, and what's the feel on the ground from KMSF to even sponsors like KCB? What's the feel finally as we're ending this up?
You see, Phineas Kimathi
Yeah.
has put in lots of effort, time, traveling, and all that, and he's got a team, his trusted team,
Yeah.
Anwar Sidi,
Yeah.
Guvi Bamra,
Absolutely.
Nazir Yaqub. These guys have been on the route,
Yeah.
and every time whenever I've been calling Anwar, where are you? I mean, never. Where are you? Never.
Yeah, yeah.
And night and day, just to try and get the stages properly done.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe which route might the WRC be using before you wind this up?
It's back in Naivasha,
Naivasha.
where we were this year,
Ah, okay,
and something.
okay,
And KCB is very much impressed,
Okay.
and they said they will stay there and then they will increase their sponsorship.
Okay, so no rumors of KCB kind of pulling out from the
No,
sponsorship?
they're very happy yesterday, and
All
they
right.
actually said we gave them 50 million.
Okay.
We've already given them over $1 million over
Yeah.
those 17 years,
Okay.
and this year, no, the coming year,
Yeah.
we know it's going to be more expensive, and will increase
All
that
right.
sponsorship.
All right. Thank you so much, Abdul, for coming. And I wish the team all the best. It's a good feel to have actually the event back in the country, because I can imagine even the local drivers are very happy about it. Thank you so much, Abdul.
Great. Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
Indeed. So you can imagine hotels are already being booked for the event very early, actually, a year or two. So that means that's a very big thing for Kenya in terms of tourism and even the economic situation. Coverage will be very actually world-class, choppers, and of course it will be live. So for that moment, I think so many Kenyans will be happy to see what's happening. The big names, Sebastian Loeb, Sebastian Ogier, also in the country. So we're taking a short break now. When we come back, we're telling you more about what has happened to SportPesa and Betin. Things are actually very thick. All are coming to you after a short break. Stay tuned to Breaking Today. Welcome back to Breaking Today. Now, police in Taita Taveta County are investigating the cause of mines collapse in Kagisao today morning, where 3 people died and 4 sustained critical injuries. Speaking at the Mungungonyi mining site, the Deputy County Commissioner Voi Joseph Mutila confirmed the incident and closed down the mining site, asking those operating within the mining zone to ensure the security is confirmed to be safe. Mutila added that as government, they have started investigations to determine the cause of the incident before activities resume. Now, in addition, the regional mining geologist, Mr. David Irungu, warned the public from engaging into unlawful mining activities without government knowledge, saying serious actions will be taken to those found practicing mining activities without license or permit.
Sheria ya mining inasema Hapo nitasisitiza kabisa because at the end
Betting firms SportPesa and Betin have closed shop in Kenya over the prolonged tax standoff with the government. SportPesa, on its part, cited hostile regulations imposed by the government at the start of the year. 20% excess tax on all betting stakes. SportPesa is disappointed with the decision by the Kenyan legislature to impose a 20% excess tax on all betting stakes. The tax is based on a fundamental misunderstanding by the Retish-led treasury of how revenue generation works in the bookmaker industry. Until such time that adequate taxation and non-hostile regulatory environment is returned, the SportPesa brand will halt operations in Kenya, Kenya's largest betting firm said in a statement. This firm actually further argued that the imposed tax could have dire consequences on betting firms which are tax compliant. Tusker beat Sofapaka 3-1 as the Kenyan Premier League action got to match day 2 on Saturday at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. Mike Madoya opened the scoring in the 52nd minute before Hilary Wandera and Luke Namanda added a single goal each to make it 3. Elias Seche pulled one for Batoto Bamungu through a sport kick, but it was too late actually for the visitors settle for the second loss of the season. Elsewhere, the Slum Derby pitting Mathare United and K-Sharks ended in a barren draw. And the results, Kisumu All Stars lost 2-1 to Western Stima, while Ulinzi Stars stunned Sony Sugar 3-1.
Well, Asieje displaces Mvuyekure and pulls one back.
Jeff Kinyanjui in a very prime position. He brings in a tailing cross, but blocked by, tried to play to Okal. Okal to David Owino. Owino to Mwangi. Mwangi has been quiet on the left side.
The 17th edition of the IAAF World Athletics Championships in Doha, Qatar continues this evening. Kenyan athletes to participate are the team taking part in the 4x400 meters relay heats and at 8 p.m. and of course with the race will be the 10,000 meters women final at 9:10 p.m. and of course the pictures right now coming to you courtesy of Supersport and Obiri Tirop in the 10,000 meters final that will be going down tonight.
Hedda Hine made the semis 2 years ago. Can she go one better? Shunyu Wang was a semi-finalist in the Olympic Games. She won the Chinese trials. She goes in 2.
Now, Kenyan athlete Alex Sampao has called on Kenyan fans in Doha, Qatar to give them the much required support as they will be getting into the first race of the 4x400 meters relay mixed heats. Alex, together with compatriots Joseph Pogisio, Alphas Kisosyan, and of course Mary Mura and Gladys Musyoki will get into action at exactly 8 p.m. local time.
My name is Alex Sampao. I'm from Kenya. I'm doing 4x4 mixed relay. We are happy to be here, and we are also very happy to hear that there is a big community of Kenyans here. We would like to ask them to come and cheer up for us. Their presence here will give us a lot of morale and support, and I'm very sure they will contribute to any victory of each Kenyan here.
Cash-strapped Gor Mahia have received a huge boost from alcoholic and beverages company Keroche Breweries ahead of the second leg of the CAF Champions League return match against Algerian side USM Algiers tomorrow. Now, the team has endured enough tough financial times after the shirt sponsors gaming company SportPesa cancelled all sports sponsorships in Kenya last month. Club chairman Ambrose Rachir has confirmed the two parties are in advanced talks regarding a shirt sponsorship for this season. Gor Mahia are in talks with Brewers for full shirt sponsorship and catering for logistics of the match.
Breweries have heeded our call to come to our rescue. So what we are going to do today is we're going to invite them to make a presentation.
It's 1 million shillings that Keroche is giving today. And we decided let us go further and show the kind of partnership, because there's no Gor Mahia without the players, and there's no Gor Mahia without the technical bench. So we said let us actually be forthcoming about what Keroche wants to happen tomorrow. We are like, we need our 3 goals, but we need our team to be motivated.
Right, that was so close for Gor Mahia because indeed they needed the support. They're playing a very, very tricky team tomorrow. Now, Impala Floodlit defending champions KCB RFC started their title defense on a high after thrashing Blackbird RFC 53-15 points in a quarter-final match played at the Impala grounds on Saturday. In other matches of the day, USIU Marshall advanced to the Impala Floodlit varsity category tournament semi-finals after beating Suarez 25-7 in the quarter-final clash. Now, the two sides bagged 3 tries, 2 penalties and 2 conversions. Martin Juma scored 2 conversions and a penalty in the win as Strathmore Leos thrashed Took 86 to 3 points. Argentina hooker Julian Montoya scored a rapid-fast half hat-trick as the Pumas beat Tonga 28-12 on Saturday to drive the bid for Rugby World Cup quarterfinal place. Argentina had a 4-try bonus point as early as 26th minute, and Pumas led 28-7 at halftime in a group of death, also featuring England. Argentina badly needed a bonus point victory from this match to maintain their hopes of reaching the knockout phase following an organizing opening 23-21 loss to France. Elsewhere, in the historic match, Japan produced another momentous Rugby World Cup upset as they turned Ireland 19-12 in Shizuoka. Japan's destiny in the home World Cup is now in their own hands, with Samoa and Scotland left to play as they aim to reach out the knockout stages for the first time. Meanwhile, Springboks thrashed Namibia 57-3.
City.
All right, so many of you are happy that the World Rally Championships is back into the country, but indeed that's where we close breaking today. My name is Nick Mudimba. Our sign language interpreter has been Mr. Michael Maithia. I'll see you again right here on Wednesday. Keep it Switch TV.